Sheila again. I thought I'd give you guys a little rundown on our IVF process. If you'd like to find out what we went through for IVF, I will do my very best to try and remember exactly all the things. It's kind of hard now that it's been, I don't know, what did we do? We did it in August, so it's been a little while. So I will go back on my notes and try and fill you guys in as best as I possibly can. So stay tuned if you want to find out. Thanks. Hi guys, Sheila here. So I want to talk to you guys today about our IVF process. So I will let you know that we did have, for our IVF situation, everybody obviously is going to be different. For us in particular, we have male factor only infertility. So I also have 2 children. My daughter is 14, my son is 11, and they were both conceived naturally. So I had a very positive outlook on this whole situation in doing IVF. So basically, when I met my now husband, we tried for a couple years without any kind of medical interventions. And then after it wasn't happening for those 2 years, we did go to my OB doctor, who said he could do some IUIs. He tested his sperm, my husband's sperm, and said that we would be good candidates for IUI. We did 6 rounds of IUI within the first year that we went to go see that doctor, and it just wasn't happening. So he gave us a referral to a infertility doctor, and we met with that doctor, and a few months later we started, actually it was probably more like 5 months later, we started the whole IVF process. So because I am now 27 weeks pregnant, it's been a little while since we went through this whole process, but I've made notes, and I do keep a journal. I keep a journal, a baby journal, and I've made notes. And from those notes, I'm going to try and do my best to kind of guide you guys through what our process was. So, like I said, I had a very positive outcome in this whole situation. And for me, I always think that a positive mind, positive outcome. So I did 1 round of IVF. And of course, this isn't going to be true for everybody. Some people will have the same exact issues as us, same exact medication as us. You know, they could even go to the same doctor and not have the same outcome, unfortunately, which really sucks. And I'm sorry, but this is what worked for us. And it actually did the first time, which we are so incredibly grateful for. Okay, so the first thing my doctor did was start me on birth control. I had to wait for my cycle to start, and as soon as it did, I believe I was day 1 or day 2 of my cycle when she started me on the birth control. Took birth control for 31 days. This was last summer, so summer of 2016. The birth control is really just to get your body on the same time length or time as the doctor, because the doctor wants you to be at a certain spot on a certain day, and you know, so that your body matches their schedule, basically, is what this whole thing is. Okay, so that was 31 days. Right before my last birth control, I started Lupron. I did 10, well, it's like 0.1 milliliters or whatever it is. I did that 10 days in the morning. So this is what your Lupron looks like. Okay, it's Lupron. Lupron here. I don't know if you guys are getting focused. So it's Lupron, and comes in a nice little, well, this is all torn apart. Comes in a little box. You get your sharps, and you get your medication. And there were also some alcohol wipes in here, which everything came with lots of alcohol wipes, plus extra wipes and extra sharps. Okay, so this is a very tiny needle. This is a small one. I'll open this one up for you guys so you can see. This was the first of the injections. When I was looking at YouTube videos just to get some reassurance, a lot of women said that this was similar to the needle size of a insulin shot. So, and I have a grandfather who takes insulin for his diabetes, and that kind of gave me a little bit of peace of mind. I don't know why, but it's like if my grandpa can do it, I can do it, right? So, and I'm very fortunate not to have to take any kind of medications on a daily basis for anything. So that's really nice. So I did all of my shots myself. I tried to get my husband to help me out with some of the longer, bigger needles later on, but he was just a little too intimidated and said that he didn't feel comfortable inflicting that much pain on me. So I did them all myself. It's definitely doable. It's not as comfortable. If you're pretty flexible, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. I had no problem reaching back and doing it. But anyway, so let's get back to the Lupron. So I did 10 units. That's what these are. These are 10 units. So I did 10 units for the first 10 days in the morning. So you take off your cap. You fill it with air first. You get it to where you want it. I was on a 10. So you get it to about the 10, maybe a little bit past. You take your needle, you inject it in, turn it upside down. I'm not going to do this because there's still a little bit of left in this, there's still a little bit of Lupron liquid left in this vial. You push the stopper up, and then it should draw in as much as you need. If you need more than that, then you can keep going. So that's the Lupron. And then you want to make sure that you put your... And I did the first, let's see, actually I did all of my Lupron, I believe, right in the lower part of my stomach. You just pinch a little bit of fat and just poke it right in, inject yourself, you're good to go. Wipe it all with alcohol, of course. You're good to go. So that's the Lupron. I did 10 units in the morning for 10 days. And then my husband and I were both on doxycycline. It's like an antibiotic. This is the container it was in. It's just a pill form. The only thing that I noticed from this was I did get really thirsty from taking this. My husband, who works outside, he's a lineman, works outside in the sun. He did notice that his skin was very sensitive to the sun, so he got burned a lot, or easily, I guess I should say. So make sure you wear your sunscreen if you're going to be outside in the sun, and drink lots of water, Gatorade, coconut water, whatever you can to keep you hydrated, because I did notice the hydration portion of that. Okay, so then we were on that for 10 days. And then we were also, at the same time, we were also doing the, the Follistim and Menopur. Follistim, okay, Follistim is... Mine came in this cute little pouch, which is kind of cool. Mine came as a pen. So you take the cap off. It has these vials, very weird looking little vials, right? You inject that vial in there, and this medication has to be refrigerated. So I still have it in the refrigerator because I have more left. If we decide to do IVF one more time, then we can still use it if it'll be good. I don't know when we'll be doing it, but it may expire by then. So we were doing 250 of the Follistim at night. Let's see, at night. Yes, I don't know how many days exactly I did this because I don't have notes on that. But so to get your medication out, there's no needle on the end of this. You turn this dial here to where you need it. If you go too far, just keep going, and then you can push it back down. You see? So you find in this little window here, you find how many units you need. How many units you need? We were doing 250, so I find 250. And then, actually that would be 250 there. And then I'm not going to do this because, like I said, there's still medication in it. You take this cute little needle that's in there. You simply push your pen on, twist it on. It still has and there's still a cap attached. Comes right off. Put it back on because I don't want to dispense any medication. I'm going to go all the way out so that I can close it up. And so what I had to do is I would then take this needle. I'm taking the needle off right now just because I don't need to do it. I would take, if they're, the needles could, pretend the needle's connected. Take this needle and inject it into the vial of Menopur. Now, your Menopur will probably come with both liquid and powder. I did not need the liquids because I was injecting the Follistim medication into the Menopur liquid, or powder, sorry. So take this, there's a little cap on this. You would take your Menopur, there's still, pretend like there's still that needle you injected in. Make it all liquid from this liquid to the powder. Makes it all liquid. You kind of give it a little swirl. Then you want to make sure that you have to take your bigger needle. This is where the bigger needle comes in play because you don't use that Follistim needle anymore. Darn it. So you don't use the Follistim needle anymore. Then you take your bigger needle. This is a new sharp here. It's not used yet. So you take your bigger needle. And let's see, how many did I do? I did. So that was 1 milliliter. Oh, okay, so I would inject the whole vial, what was left, and get every drop out of it. And then I believe this one went into my upper butt area. There's no nice way to say that. It would go into my upper butt because it was intramuscular, I believe. So I was on that. I don't know how many days I was on that because I don't have any notes on it. And then around July 29th, after I was doing the Lupron in the morning, the 10 units, then I was also doing the Follistim at night and the Menopur mix like I just showed you guys. And then I was doing the Lupron 5 units in the morning. So that went on for, I really don't know how long that was. Probably just a couple weeks or so. Then I had, after about, 10 days? 10, 11 days, my doctor did a blood test. The blood test was just to make sure that I wasn't getting too much medication and that my body was responding to the medication that I was taking. And I believe that the doctor did lower some of my medications, the units that I was taking, just because my body was responding so well to those medications. They just have to check and make sure that your hormone levels aren't going, berserk. So, and then 5 days after that, I did another blood test and an ultrasound. The ultrasound was just to make sure that the medication wasn't making my follicles overstimulate, because you don't want your follicles to be ginormous and overstimulating tons and tons of eggs, because that can be very dangerous to your body. What I've read really is it's not the amount of eggs that you get, it's really the quality over quantity, as with most things in life, right? So it's really better for your body not to have all that medication in there to make so many eggs. You really want your eggs just to be mature and healthy. And even if you just get, 5 eggs, even if you just have 1 egg, that's really all it takes for some people. So don't think of it as a competition to see who gets the most eggs, because it really doesn't matter. Okay, so then, let's see, I did my HCG trigger 48 hours before my egg retrieval. My egg retrieval was on August 8th. And the HCG, I don't have I think this is the vial for the HCG. It was the same type of thing. You just mix in the liquid into the powder, mix it up. You put your needle into, it was a long needle because it also was intramuscular in the rear. So you mix it up, you inject the injection, or you inject the medication into your needle from the vial. So that was that, and that's done 48 hours before your egg retrieval. Let me tell you guys about my retrieval. So, my doctor did say that I needed to have someone drive me, so my husband went with me. It was not as scary and intimidating as I thought it would be. We went in, believe it was a morning appointment. It might have been an early morning or early afternoon. So we went into a back room in her office. The anesthesiologist came in and started hooking me up to the IV for the anesthesia. And I will tell you guys that you're just in twilight anesthesia, which is you're awake, kind of coherent. It's like having a lot of, I don't know, morphine or Vicodin or something like that. I wasn't completely out. I was not completely out. I remember listening to the doctor, actually, and the nurses talk about running in this one road that they ran on, and that they liked it because, I can't even remember why they said they liked it, but it was like one of their favorite paths or something. And I woke, after the egg retrieval, I was talking to the doctor, and I was like, were you guys talking about running? And she's like, oh my gosh, yes we were. You're supposed to be out. And I was like, I heard you guys. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm training for a marathon. I was like, oh, okay. So I wasn't just dreaming that. So that was kind of funny. So I didn't feel anything, though, just to let you guys know that I was very relaxed, very comfortable, didn't feel a thing. A few hours. Yeah, I think it was the next day, maybe. That day or the next day, she did tell us how many eggs they retrieved. But right after the retrieval, my husband and I just went to go eat. Just walked around slowly, carefully. I was still a little groggy from the medication, from the anesthesia. We just went to go eat, just kind of took it easy. We had a 2.5-hour car ride, so I just slept a little bit. And I returned to work. Let's see, I think we did that on a Wednesday or Thursday. I had the weekend off anyway. So I returned to work on a Monday. But the next day I went about my activities the same, picking up kids from school, doing a little bit of housework here and there, making dinner, that kind of thing. It just didn't really, I wasn't on bed rest. My doctor didn't recommend bed rest. She said, go about your life the same you would any other day. So I did. But I just, for my own peace of mind, for my own sake, I took it a little bit easier than normal. I did not run, did not do any kind of exercise, no heavy lifting, nothing like that. So after the retrieval, as soon as the retrieval was done, the nurse did inject me with some of my progesterone and oil. And mine came in a vial, or a pill bottle like this. And mine looks like this. It's progesterone and oil. And you need that big needle because it is also intramuscular. My doctor recommended intramuscular, the top of my booty muscle. So that's where that was injected. And as I said before, I did all those injections myself. So I started the progesterone and oil right at the retrieval, right after the retrieval. And I also started 50 milligrams of progesterone suppositories. I started doing those at night. Then 5 days later, we transferred 2 embryos. So my doctor gave us success rates. One, if we were to transfer one embryo, our success rate went from 25%. So we transferred those 2 baby embryos. They were both, the doctor said they were probably both the best looking ones. And one of them had already started to hatch. So they show you the picture and they're like in a nice little circular egg. And one of the embryos had already started to come out of the egg. And this was at 5 days. So we did the transfer of the 2 embryos after 5 days of incubation or retrieval or whatever you want to call it. So we did have, I think we have now 5 more embryos that are frozen, waiting to be thawed and implanted at some point, hopefully. So we'll see about that. So we did our transfer, and then about 8 days after the transfer, I went in for my beta test, and my first beta at 9 days after a 5-day transfer was 160. My clinic told me that they would not call me after the first beta, that they wanted to wait, or that their protocol was to wait until the second beta to either give you the positive or the negative news. Well, I don't really care if it's positive or negative. I wanted to know. So I did the blood test at my local hospital because we're 2.5 hours away from our fertility clinic. After I did the beta test at my hospital, I asked them if I could come back and get the results. They said, yes, they'll be ready in a couple hours. So guess what I did? I went back to my hospital and got my results because I do not like to not know. So the beta was 160, which is considered pregnant. So I was pretty stoked. But in the back of my mind, I knew, okay, this isn't the end. The next beta could be lower, higher, who knows? We'll see. I was prepared no matter if it was a positive or a negative, really. So then a couple days later, so 2 days later, I went back, and my second beta was 397. So I was considered pregnant. So that was awesome. We were super excited. My clinic finally called me and said, oh, you're pregnant. I said, yeah, I already kind of knew. I went back to the lab and got the results myself. But so it was, I guess it would have been really exciting to hear it from my clinic, but there was no way I was waiting. No way in hell I was going to wait. During the 2-week wait process, I did test at about 3 days, I think it was. I had a pregnancy test laying around, and I did test. And no, maybe it was 5 days past the transfer. 3 to 5 days past the transfer. I saw the little tiniest, faintest little line ever. So I kind of already had a glimmer of hope in me, so I kind of was hoping, kind of thinking that the test was going to come back positive. So after the positive beta, my doctor said to continue taking the progesterone injections. I did that up until 6 weeks of pregnancy. Let me tell you, 6 weeks of injecting yourself in the upper butt is not fun. It is hard. What did make it easier for me was laying on the opposite side that I would do the injection on. Injecting with my leg kind of up a little bit, but relaxed. So I would lay on the bed with my knee up a little bit towards my chest. And then I would put a heating pad on that area and let it get real nice and warm. When I took the oil into the syringe, I would take the syringe and go like this so that the oil would get a little bit warm, and I do this for a little bit. And sometimes I would even if it was a little bit cold in the house that day, I would put the syringe underneath the heating pad for just a few seconds just to get that oil nice and loosened up, and then inject myself and take my heating pad and really rub the area really good. You want a lot of pressure, even the heel of your hand, this area of your hand, you really want to rub that out and really good in different motions in different area, because then it kind of distributes through the whole muscle of your body, or through the muscle that you injected it into. So I would have my husband, when he was home on a day, on the weekend when I was doing these were morning injections. So if he was home on the weekend, or if he had a rest period or something like that, I would have him, I would have him do the rubbing for me, because obviously his hand could get in there and really rub it out a lot better than I could from an awkward angle. So that helped a ton. And then I would try and just lay there for a little bit and relax and watch some TV, some YouTube for about 15-20 minutes. And just to let you guys know that you do want to do your injections as close to the same time every day as possible. That really helps. You know, I think the doctor recommends within 30 minutes, an hour of what you've done every day. So just try and keep up on that. After the transfer, my doctor said no lifting, no intercourse for up to 10 weeks, no running, no hot tubs. They wanted my heartbeat to stay under 140 beats per minute, which was tough because I love to run. I'm not a walker. I like to run and lift weights and stuff. So I did reduce my workout to weights only. Right after the transfer, I took it easy for maybe a day or two, but then I got right back out there and I started walking. Walking is beneficial to your uterus, to your mind, to your body, to everything. So if you're not a walker, or if you don't like to exercise, it's really a good time to get started doing it. I suggest doing it before your egg retrieval, before your transfer, before you get started in any of this process. Plus, you're just setting your body up to be healthy for a baby in the future. So after we got the positive on the beta, so at 6 weeks, we went in to see our doctor. She did a vaginal ultrasound, and we were able to see the baby. There he is right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. So at 6 weeks, let's see, I was 6 weeks, 2 days, and the doctor did not see the heartbeat, or at least didn't show me the heartbeat. She did see the fetal pole, which is the starting of the heartbeat. He could have been just a little late in implanting. So she said not to worry. Everything looked good. He looked healthy. And then we went back again 3 weeks later, 9 weeks, and we got to see him again. And again, this is a vaginal. And this time we were able to see the heartbeat. Nice and strong heartbeat. Was very happy to see that. Very excited. So we did find out at the 6-week appointment that we only had one embryo that implanted. Yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking to know that one of the embryos did not survive, but at the same time, you kind of feel like, well, this is probably for the best. This is what was meant to be. This is what was meant to happen. So we are kind of glad that we chose to do the 2 embryo implantation opposed to the 1, because you never know, maybe the 1 wouldn't have even stuck. You don't know. But we felt that with the 44% chance that the doctor gave us, that implanting the 2 would be our best option. And for us, we still believe that it was. If we decide to do it again, we will probably do 2 as well. Just because it worked this time, and we hope that it would work next time. So that's our little IVF story. Like I said before, I know that everyone is going to be different. No one's going to have the same story. No one's going to have the same outcome. Everybody is going to be different. I encourage anybody that has been trying for more than a year to go and talk to a specialist. Our doctor was in Santa Rosa, California. Advanced Fertility Specialist is the name of the group. Jennifer Radcliffe is the name of the doctor. She was amazing. She was great. Her whole staff was amazing and great. They sent me calendars letting me know exactly what days and dates and amounts to do for my injections. They went through the medication with me. They went through all the injections. They showed me how to do the injections. They walked me through every step of the process, and it was really, really not easy, not enjoyable, but they made it that way. They made it seem that way for sure, and we will definitely be using them again. Dr. Radcliffe is definitely not a sugarcoater. She tells you how it is, which is good, because in trying to make a family, create a family, have a child, you don't want somebody that's going to tiptoe around the process. You don't want someone that's going to sugarcoat your age, your fertility issues, none of that. You want somebody that's going to say, hey, this is what's going to work for you. This is what's not going to work for you. I don't suggest that. I do suggest that. And that's what Jennifer does. She is not afraid to tell you how she thinks, you're going about the fertility, if you're going about it the wrong way or the right way. So we were really happy with that clinic, and we will definitely go back there again. And I think that's all I have for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to know what's going on in our future, and if we decide to have another baby via IVF, I will make sure that we walk you guys through every single day. Please subscribe, like this video, leave your comments below. I'll try and get to them as soon as I can. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye.